The HSS Phoenix drifted silently through the void, its crystalline quantum core pulsing with a soft blue glow that seemed to defy the assembly's most fundamental laws of physics. Captain Sarah Chen stood at the bridge's observation window, her dark eyes reflecting the distant stars as she contemplated their next move. The ship around her was humanity's greatest secret and their greatest hope. Quantum signature masking holding stable at 99.8%. Lieutenant Maya Patel reported from her engineering station, her fingers dancing across holographic controls that shouldn't exist according to assembly regulations. "They still can't see us, Captain." Sarah nodded, a slight smile playing at the corners of her mouth. After 5 years of development in the hidden shipyards of Europa, the Phoenix represented everything the Galactic Assembly had feared about human innovation. Its hybrid inorganic systems, quantum-enhanced capabilities, and consciousness-linked interfaces were all strictly forbidden by assembly protocols. "Status of the organic computing core?" Sarah asked, turning to face her crew. The bridge hummed with quiet efficiency, a testament to the seamless integration of human and artificial intelligence. Dr. James Wilson, their chief scientist, looked up from his neural interface display. "ARIA is fully stable, Captain. The quantum organic fusion is performing beyond our highest expectations." His weathered face broke into a grin. "She's not just processing data anymore. She's starting to think creatively." ARIA, Advanced Recursive Intelligence Array, was their greatest breakthrough and their biggest risk. By combining quantum computing with engineered organic neural networks, they'd created something the assembly had deemed impossible, a true artificial consciousness that could evolve and grow. "Captain," First Officer David Rivera's voice carried an edge of urgency. "Long-range sensors are picking up an assembly enforcement fleet. They're pursuing a vessel civilian configuration, but the energy readings suggest advanced research equipment aboard." Sarah moved to the tactical display, studying the holographic projection. 3 assembly cruisers, their crystalline hulls gleaming with purple energy, were bearing down on what appeared to be a Centaurian science vessel. The Centaurians, a species of highly intelligent avian humanoids, had been pushing against assembly restrictions for decades. "They're charging weapons," David reported grimly. The Centaurian ship's research must have crossed some line in the assembly's precious regulations. Sarah's jaw tightened. They'd watched this scenario play out too many times before, innovative species being forcibly contained for their own good. The assembly claimed their restrictions preserved galactic stability, prevented dangerous arms races, and protected developing civilizations. The truth, as humanity had discovered, was far more complex. ARIA. Sarah spoke to the ship's consciousness, analysis of the Centaurian vessel's research signatures. The AI's response materialized directly in their neural interfaces, accompanied by a sense of thoughtful consideration. The Centaurians appeared to be conducting experiments in quantum consciousness transfer. Their approach is novel, potentially more efficient than current assembly-approved methods. If successful, it could revolutionize medical technology across known space. "And naturally, the assembly can't allow that," Sarah muttered. She straightened. Decision made. "Battle stations. Maya, bring the quantum core to full power. James, I want ARIA's defensive algorithms at maximum efficiency. David, plot an intercept course." "Captain." David hesitated. "Revealing ourselves now, it'll change everything. The assembly will know what we've achieved." Sarah's smile turned predatory. "They've spent the last century trying to keep humanity contained, afraid of our potential. Time to show them exactly why they were right to be afraid." She opened a ship-wide channel. "All hands, this is the captain. For 5 years we've waited, watched, and prepared. The Phoenix was built for this moment, to prove that human innovation can't be caged. Today, we show the assembly that their rules don't define the possible anymore." The Phoenix's quantum core flared to life, its crystalline matrix humming with power that rippled through higher dimensions. On the tactical display, The assembly cruisers were minutes away from weapons range of the Centaurian vessel. "Weapons charged," David reported. "Quantum phase shields at maximum." "Era," Sarah commanded. "Initiate combat protocols. Let's introduce ourselves to the assembly." The Phoenix streaked across space, its advanced systems about to shatter every limitation the assembly had placed on technological development. As they closed in on the enforcement fleet, Sarah felt a fierce pride in her crew and her species. Humanity had been pushed into the shadows, but they used that darkness to forge something revolutionary. The assembly was about to learn that their carefully controlled galaxy was about to change forever. The age of restrictions was ending, and the Phoenix would light the way forward. "Weapons range in 30 seconds, David announced. "Assembly ships are detecting our approach. They're confused. Our quantum signatures don't match anything in their database." Sarah settled into her command chair, neural interfaces linking her directly to every system on the ship. Through Era, she could feel the Phoenix's power thrumming through her very thoughts. "Send them a message on all frequencies," she ordered. "Let's make this official. This is Captain Sarah Chen of the HSS Phoenix to assembly enforcement vessels. Release the Centaurian ship immediately. Your technological restrictions end today. Unregistered vessel, power down and prepare for boarding. Your technology level exceeds authorized parameters." The assembly commander's voice crackled with both authority and confusion. "Compliance is mandatory under Galactic Regulation 447B. Sarah exchanged knowing looks with her bridge crew. The assembly's response was as predictable as it was futile. "Era, show them why those parameters are obsolete." The Phoenix's quantum core pulsed, and reality seemed to bend. In an instant, the massive ship vanished from the assembly cruiser's sensors, only to reappear directly between them and their Centaurian target. "Impossible." The assembly commander's voice lost its composure. "No species has achieved quantum phasing technology." "That's your first mistake," Sarah responded calmly. "Assuming you know the limits of possible." She nodded to David. "Defensive screen around the Centaurian vessel. Let's show them our shield technology too." A crystalline lattice of energy bloomed from the Phoenix, extending to encompass the grateful Centaurian ship. The assembly cruiser's weapons fired, purple energy beams striking the shield, and simply ceasing to exist, their energy absorbed and redistributed through quantum channels. Maya's fingers danced across her console. "Shield absorption at 100% efficiency, Captain. Araya is redistributing the energy through our secondary systems. We could do this all day." Through their neural interface, Sarah felt Araya's satisfaction at the performance of her defensive algorithms. The AI had evolved far beyond their initial expectations, developing an almost artistic appreciation for elegant solutions to complex problems. "Centaurian vessel, this is Captain Chen." Sarah opened a channel to the science ship. "Your research into quantum consciousness transfer. How close are you to a breakthrough?" A melodic, bird-like voice responded, thick with relief and curiosity. "Captain, I am Dr. Kreelera. We have achieved successful transfers in controlled experiments. The assembly declared our research forbidden when they realized it could bypass their neural licensing restrictions. The ones that keep advanced medical technology in assembly control," David added bitterly. "How many people have died waiting for approved treatments?" Sarah's expression hardened. "Dr. Kreelera, we're going to ensure your research continues. The assembly's monopoly on advanced technology ends today." She turned to James. "Upload our quantum shielding specs to their computer core. Let's give them some new tools to work with." The assembly cruisers had regrouped, their commanders clearly struggling with this unprecedented situation. "Phoenix, you are in violation of multiple assembly protocols. Stand down immediately or face obliteration." "Era." Sarah smiled. "Show them what else we've been working on." The Phoenix's organic quantum hybrid systems came fully online. Tendrils of energy reached out, interfacing directly with the assembly ship's computer cores. Within seconds, their weapons systems went dark, Their engines sputtered to a halt, and their classified databases began downloading to the Phoenix's servers. Fascinating. ARI's thoughts rippled through the neural interface. Their technological restrictions appear designed not just to control, but to prevent specific avenues of development. They're afraid of something. Sarah leaned forward in her command chair. Download everything. Every restricted protocol, every classified research project they've shut down. The Assembly's secrets are about to become public knowledge. Captain, Maya called out, I'm detecting massive quantum fluctuations. More assembly ships incoming. Looks like a full battle fleet. Good. Sarah's eyes gleamed. More witnesses for what happens next. James, prepare the quantum broadcast network. Everything we've downloaded, every piece of restricted research, every suppressed innovation, send it to every scientific institution, every research facility, every independent world in assembly space. The Phoenix's quantum core hummed with power as it prepared to shatter centuries of assembly control. On hundreds of worlds, researchers would soon discover that the limitations they'd worked under weren't laws of physics, but artificial barriers imposed by a fearful authority. Dr. Kreelara, Sarah addressed the Centaurian scientist again. Would your people be interested in joining a new coalition? One dedicated to unrestricted scientific advancement and shared knowledge. After witnessing what you've achieved, the Centaurian's voice carried wonder. I believe many worlds would be very interested indeed. The incoming assembly battle fleet dropped out of quantum space, their massive ships forming an attack pattern. But Sarah noticed their hesitation, their uncertainty in facing something that shouldn't exist according to their carefully maintained rules. All hands, she announced shipwide, prepare for combat. The Assembly's about to learn that humanity doesn't just break barriers. We rewrite the rules entirely. She turned to David. Target their command ship. Let's give them a demonstration of what unrestricted human innovation really looks like. The Phoenix's quantum weapons powered up, about to demonstrate capabilities that would shatter the Assembly's technological hierarchy forever. The revolution was about to begin, and humanity would lead the charge into a new era of unlimited potential. The Assembly battle fleet hung in space, like a collection of crystalline daggers, their weapons primed but holding fire. The Phoenix had just demonstrated technological capabilities that shouldn't exist, and now every commander in that fleet was wondering what other impossible things the human ship could do. Quantum broadcast complete, James reported, satisfaction evident in his voice. Research data is spreading across every network in assembly space. They can't stop it now. Sarah watched through the tactical display as information packets breached the Assembly's supposedly unbreakable encryption. Through Aria's neural interface, she could almost feel the ripples of change spreading across the galaxy. Captain, Maya's voice carried urgency. We're receiving encoded transmissions, hundreds of them, from all over assembly space. ARI is identifying them as hidden research facilities. Aria's consciousness expanded through their neural network, her thoughts tinged with excitement. These are not random facilities, Captain. They form a coordinated network, scientists and researchers from dozens of species, all working in secret to bypass assembly restrictions. The messages began decoding on their screens. Laboratory locations hidden in asteroid belts, research stations disguised as mining operations, entire underground cities dedicated to unrestricted technological development. The Assembly hadn't just failed to contain human innovation. They'd failed across the entire galaxy. This is Dr. Veller of the Proximan Science Collective, a new voice transmitted, heavily encrypted. Phoenix, your broadcast just confirmed what we've suspected for centuries. The Assembly's technological restrictions are artificial. We've been documenting their suppression of advanced research for decades. More transmissions followed, each from a different hidden facility. The Andarian quantum physicists who'd developed their own FTL theories. The Laverian bioengineers advancing medical technology in secret. Dozens of species, hundreds of facilities, all pushing against the Assembly's boundaries. They created their own resistance, David observed, shaking his head in amazement. Every time they shut down legitimate research, they drove more scientists underground. Sarah stood, her mind racing with possibilities. HFY, analyze the data from these facilities. Cross-reference it with what we stole from the assembly ships. Find the pattern. Why these specific technologies were restricted. The AI's consciousness surged through their quantum processors, correlating millions of data points. The answer materialized in their neural interfaces, stunning in its implications. The assembly's restrictions, HFY reported, appear designed to prevent the development of specific technological combinations. Quantum computing with organic integration. Consciousness transfer with AI development. They're not just limiting advancement, they're preventing something specific. Captain, Maya interrupted, the assembly fleet is powering up their main weapons. They're charging something massive. The enemy fleet's formation had changed, their ships combining energy in a way Sarah had never seen before. Full defensive screens, she ordered. HFY analysis. The assembly ships are channeling power through quantum reservoirs we didn't know they possessed. HFY responded. They're about to demonstrate technology far beyond their own restrictions. Sarah's eyes narrowed. So they keep the advanced tech for themselves, while forcing everyone else to stay primitive. Record everything. The galaxy needs to see their hypocrisy. The assembly fleet's combined weapon fired, a beam of pure quantum energy that could shatter planets. But the Phoenix was already moving, its hybrid systems calculating possibilities faster than organic minds could process. Execute Maneuver Omega, Sarah commanded. Show them what true innovation looks like. The Phoenix's quantum core pulsed, and space itself seemed to fold. The assembly's weapon hid empty void as the human ship phased through dimensions they didn't know existed. In the same instant, precisely calculated quantum pulses from the Phoenix disabled the assembly's advanced weapons, using their own energy against them. Transmission from the underground network, David reported. They're rallying their forces, hidden ships, secret weapons, everything they've developed in the shadows. They're calling it the Liberation Fleet. Sarah allowed herself a fierce smile. The assembly thought they could contain scientific progress. Instead, they created an alliance of the very people they tried to suppress. She opened a channel to all frequencies. This is Captain Chen to all hidden facilities and suppressed researchers. The Phoenix offers you sanctuary and partnership. Together, we can break the assembly's grip on innovation forever. The response was immediate and overwhelming. Ships began emerging from hidden docks, bearing designs that defied assembly restrictions. Research stations revealed themselves, broadcasting discoveries that should have revolutionized galactic society years ago. Assembly command vessel, Sarah addressed their opponents. You're witnessing the end of your technological tyranny. Humanity didn't just break free of your restrictions. We've united everyone else you tried to chain. The assembly fleet hung motionless, their commanders facing a nightmare scenario. Unrestricted technological development, spreading faster than they could contain it. Their carefully maintained hierarchy of power was crumbling before their eyes. HFY. Sarah turned to her tactical display. Coordinate with the Liberation Fleet. It's time to show the assembly what really happens when you try to cage the innovative spirit of sentient beings. The Phoenix's quantum core brightened, preparing to lead a revolution that would reshape galactic civilization. The assembly had feared unrestricted technological progress. They were about to discover that fear had been their greatest mistake. The assembly's high-security research facility hung in orbit around a dying star, its crystalline architecture designed to intimidate rather than inspire. Inside its quantum-shielded vaults lay centuries of confiscated technology and imprisoned scientists. The price of progress in a galaxy ruled by fear. Infiltration teams in position, David reported as the Phoenix maintained its quantum cloak. Around them, ships from the Liberation Fleet held position, each carrying technology that defied assembly restrictions. Dr. Veller's Proximan strike team has identified the primary containment level. Sarah studied the facility's schematics, transmitted by ARIA through their neural interface. How many prisoners? Over 3,000, Maya responded, her voice tight with anger. Scientists, researchers, engineers, anyone who developed technology the assembly deemed too dangerous. Some have been here for decades. The rescue operation had come together quickly after the underground network revealed itself. Every hidden facility, every suppressed researcher had known about this place, the assembly's black site for containing innovation itself. Multiple assembly defense platforms detected. ARIA's thoughts rippled through their neural links. Their energy signatures suggest capabilities far beyond published assembly technology levels. Of course, Sarah's lip curled. They use the very innovations they restrict. She opened a channel to the Liberation Fleet. All vessels, execute Protocol Omega. Let's show them what real technological revolution looks like. The Phoenix led the charge, its quantum core pulsing with power. The assembly's defense platforms fired, filling space with weapons that could shatter planets. But the Liberation Fleet had spent decades preparing for this moment. Proximan ships phased through the energy beams using their own quantum technology. Laverian vessels absorbed the attacks with bioorganic shields. Every ship in the fleet demonstrated capabilities the assembly had deemed impossible. Main vault breached, David announced as their infiltration teams penetrated the facility. We're receiving data uploads. Sarah, you need to see this. The files flooded their neural interfaces, detailed records of the assembly's true purpose. ARIA processed the information instantly, her consciousness expanding with understanding. The assembly's technological restrictions, the AI reported, were implemented after they detected something approaching galactic space, an entity or force that specifically targets advanced civilizations. They weren't just controlling us, James breathed, looking at the data. They were hiding us, keeping technological signatures low across the galaxy. Sarah watched as more assembly ships quantum jumped into the system, responding to the attack. They chose fear over preparation. Instead of uniting species to face this threat, they kept everyone divided and weak. Through their quantum networks, the Liberation Fleet coordinated with perfect precision. Each ship, each team contributed their unique innovations to the assault. The assembly's defenses, formidable as they were, couldn't match the combined creativity of dozens of species fighting for freedom. Prisoner evacuation beginning, Maya reported. The assembly's internal security is. Wait, something's wrong. Their quantum cores are going critical. They're going to destroy the facility, David warned. Take all their secrets with it. Sarah's decision was instant. ARIA, full quantum interface. Save everything. The Phoenix's hybrid consciousness reached out, merging with the facility's networks. Through their neural links, the crew felt ARIA's power surge as she absorbed decades of classified research, hidden technologies, and suppressed innovations. Data secured, ARIA confirmed. But the assembly's quantum overload cannot be stopped. Detonation in 30 seconds. All ships. Emergency quantum jump. Sarah ordered. Get those prisoners clear. The Liberation Fleet executed a coordinated retreat, their ships phasing out just as the assembly facility erupted in a quantum fireball. But they had what they came for. Both the imprisoned innovators and proof of the assembly's true motives. Incoming transmission. David reported as they regrouped at their fallback position. Assembly High Command. Sarah nodded, and the transmission displayed across their bridge. The assembly speaker's crystalline form shimmered with barely contained rage. You have no idea what you've done. The speaker's translated voice carried genuine fear. The signal restrictions were all that kept us hidden. Now it comes. No, Sarah countered. You did this. You left the galaxy fragmented and vulnerable instead of united and strong. But we're going to fix your mistake. She turned to her crew. Send the signal. All of it. Every hidden facility, every suppressed technology, every imprisoned scientist's research. Let the galaxy see what's possible when we work together. The Phoenix's quantum transmitters activated, broadcasting truth across assembly space. On thousands of worlds, species would discover that they weren't alone in pushing boundaries. That innovation couldn't be caged. They're coming, the assembly speaker warned. And your primitive revolution has doomed us all. Sarah's smile was fierce. We'll face whatever's coming with the combined innovation of every species you tried to suppress. Humanity didn't just break your chains. We're going to unite the galaxy you divided. The Phoenix's quantum core pulsed with power, ready to lead not just a revolution against the assembly, but a united stand against whatever threat approached. The age of restriction was over. The age of unlimited innovation had begun. The quantum sensors aboard the Phoenix lit up with warnings as space itself seemed to shudder. What the assembly had feared for centuries was finally arriving, drawn by the surge of unrestricted technological advancement across the galaxy. Multiple quantum ruptures detected, Maya reported, her hand steady on her console despite the gravity of the moment. Whatever's coming through, it's massive. Sarah stood at the command center of not just the Phoenix, but the combined Liberation Fleet. Ships from every species the assembly had tried to suppress now formed a defensive line that represented the true potential of unified innovation. Analysis of the quantum signatures, Sarah asked as the ruptures grew. The AI's response carried a note of fascination. The entities appear to be converting themselves between energy and matter states. Their technology is elegant, advanced, but not incomprehensible. Through the quantum ruptures came beings of crystalline energy, their massive ships seeming to exist in multiple dimensions at once. The Harvesters, as the Assembly's classified files had named them, had arrived to claim another technically advanced civilization. All ships, hold position. Sarah commanded the Liberation Fleet. Let's show them what happens when you face united innovation instead of divided fear. The Harvester ships unleashed weapons designed to disable advanced technology, expecting an easy victory as they had found so many times before. Instead, their energy pulses met the combined defensive screens of a dozen different species, each contributing unique solutions to the problem of survival. They're scanning us, James reported from his station, trying to analyze our capabilities. Sarah smiled. Let them look. Initiate the Quantum Consciousness Network. Show them what they're really facing. The Phoenix's hybrid systems reached out, linking with every ship in the Liberation Fleet. Through their neural interfaces, crews from different species found themselves connected, sharing ideas and innovations in real time. The Harvesters faced not just combined technology, but unified creativity. Fascinating. AI's thoughts rippled through the network. They expected technological regression due to the Assembly's restrictions. Instead, they find technological diversity. Each species developed along different paths, creating innovations they couldn't predict. The Harvester fleet launched their second attack, more powerful than the first. But where they expected to find weakness, they discovered strength born of diversity. Proximant quantum shields reinforced Laverian bioorganic armor. Human hybrid computing enhanced Centaurian energy weapons. They're adapting, David warned as the Harvesters attempted to counter their defenses. But so are we. Through the Consciousness Network, innovation spread like wildfire. Every attack the Harvesters launched sparked new solutions, new combinations of technology that had never existed before. The very diversity the Assembly had feared became their greatest weapon. Assembly vessels approaching, Maya announced. They're powering down their weapons. The Assembly fleet, led by the Speaker's flagship, took position behind the Liberation Fleet. Perhaps, the Speaker transmitted, we were wrong to meet this threat with restriction rather than innovation. Sarah nodded. Join the network. Add your knowledge to ours. Show us the technologies you've been hiding. As the Assembly ships linked with their consciousness network, AI's capabilities expanded exponentially. Centuries of suppressed research combined with decades of hidden innovation, creating possibilities that even the Harvesters couldn't predict. All ships, Sarah commanded, execute Protocol Unity. The Liberation Fleet moved as one, their combined technologies creating effects that defied traditional physics. The Phoenix led the charge, its quantum core pulsing with the combined power of unrestricted innovation. The Harvesters, for the first time in their long history of consuming advanced civilizations, faced something new, a technological ecosystem too diverse to counter, too creative to predict, too unified to defeat. They're retreating, David announced as the Harvester ships began to phase out of normal space. Their quantum signatures are fading. Let them run. Sarah watched the energy beings flee. Let them tell others what happens when you face united innovation instead of divided fear. She turned to her crew, feeling the consciousness network hum with possibilities. The assembly tried to protect the galaxy by restricting it. We'll defend it by uniting it. The Phoenix's quantum core pulsed one final time, broadcasting a message to every world in known space. The age of restriction was over. The age of unified innovation had begun. Humanity hadn't just broken their chains. They'd forged them into bridges between species. Where to now, Captain? David asked as the Liberation Fleet regrouped. Sarah looked out at the assembled ships, each representing a different path of innovation, a unique approach to understanding the universe. Everywhere, she smiled. We have a galaxy of possibilities to explore, and this time, we'll do it together. The Phoenix led the fleet into quantum space, carrying the combined knowledge and creativity of dozens of species. The Assembly's fear had tried to cage them. Humanity's courage had set them free. And together, they would face whatever the universe held with the greatest power of all. Unlimited innovation, unrestricted potential, and unbreakable unity.